Hello again everyone. Today we'll still be working with VMware for the PC. Today we'll be installing FTP7. We'll also be creating an FTP site and test the connectivity to it. And the last step, we will create a virtual directory for the site. I'm going to be doing all of this on my 2020 Server 01, and I already have the installation file here for the FTP7. There is a FTP service that comes with Windows Server 2008, but it's FTP6. This version here is FTP7, and what I've done is, well, the file was provided for me, but what you can do is download it onto your computer and then simply drag and drop it into your virtual machine to get it into your virtual machine. And just go ahead and double click that. Go ahead and let it install. You can see here that it's ready for installation now. This is just the welcome page. Go ahead and click next on that. This is just your license agreement. Go ahead and click I accept the terms. Click next. Okay, the pop-up that had showed up, it was just saying that the installer was needing to check my disk space. Now that it's done, you can see here that it's continued on to where you can select a custom setup if you want. We're just going to be leaving it with the default options. Go ahead and click next, and you can see here this is just your confirmation screen telling you it's ready to install. Go ahead and click install. Now that it's done installing, we'll go ahead and click finish. Now we'll be going on with number 2 of creating an FTP site. To do this, you go to your administrative tools, open up your IIS manager, and once your IIS manager is open, go ahead and expand your server node in the left pane. And since we installed the FTP7 services, now in our server node we'll have an additional information here called FTP. And what we're going to do is we will right click on our sites node, and then we're going to be clicking on add FTP site. And the site name, you could name it for whatever your needs are. I'm going to be naming mine FTP-01 since it's on my 01 machine. And for the content directory physical path, we're going to be browsing to our C drive, inetpub, and then underneath inetpub we're going to be selecting the www root. Go ahead and click OK. And click next. And the next dialog box that comes up is your binding and SSL settings. The bindings I'm going to leave at their defaults of all unassigned IP addresses and a port of 21. But I am going to be changing the SSL settings. I'm going to click to allow SSL, and we're not going to select a certificate at this time, but if you already had one that you were wanting to use on the site, you would just click it and select it from the drop down box. You can see the one there that I had created in a previous video. Go ahead and click next, and the next dialog box that comes up is your authentication and authorization information. And under authentication, you have two different types here. You have anonymous authentication, which is what is installed, what is automatically installed whenever you install the IIS services. And you also have the option for basic authentication, which is another authentication that you would have to install. I'm going to go ahead and check the anonymous authentication box, and in the authorization box here from our drop down box underneath allow access to, we're going to select all users, and we're going to give them the permissions to read and write. And we'll go ahead and click finish. And then you can see here that the site we just created is showing up for us. What I'm going to do now is open up my Internet Explorer. Once in Internet Explorer, I'm going to go ahead and key in the address as FTP server01.contoso.com. You can see here that it's successfully connected us to our FTP server, to our FTP site, sorry. And now what I'm going to do is go to my 2020 Server 02 machine, and I'll be testing the connection to our FTP site from there. I already have the address typed in from my partner machine here. I'll go ahead and test the connection here. You can see here that my wheel is just spinning here in my my window tab, and it's not going to let us connect right now. And the reason for that is our firewall is turned on our Server 01 machine, and it's blocking any connections that's trying to get into the machine. So I'm just going to go to Start, Control Panel, and double click on Windows Firewall, and click on Change Settings. And then in the Windows Firewall settings box that pops up, I'm going to click the checkbox for off. Go ahead and click Apply. And then we'll go back to our O2 machine, and we'll refresh the page. And you can see here that by turning off the firewall, it let us connect. If you were setting this up for a company or you know, something like that, it wouldn't be very practical to turn your firewall off, so you would have to go in and allow the connections. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be moving on to the last step of creating an Active Directory for our FTP site. I'm back in the IIS Manager, and then we'll right click. Once you have your server node expanded and your sites node expanded, we'll right click on the FTP site we created. We'll click on Add Virtual Directory, and in the Add Virtual Directory dialog box, in the alias, I'm going to be naming it Student 01. And then in the physical path, I'm going to be connecting this to my Student 01's user account. So we'd go under Local Disk C. We'd expand our users node, and we'll expand our we'll highlight our student node. We'll go ahead and click OK. And then underneath the pass-through authentication, we're going to be selecting Connect As. And then in the Connect As dialog box, you'll see the path credentials. It has a couple different options. One is specific user, which is what we'll be using. And then you have application user. The application user, you do not have to set any credentials, but the account that it makes will have very low privileges. Go ahead and click make sure your specific user is selected, and we'll click Set. I'm going to be using my Student 01 user account for this, but I'm also going to have to key in my domain name as well. Let's go ahead and get that typed in with my password. And we'll go ahead and click OK. Once you have your credentials set, and go ahead and click OK, and then you can see that below, underneath the physical path, it is changed to Connect As Contoso/Student1. I'm going to go ahead and click Test Settings, and you can see that the authentication and authorization was successful. Go ahead and click Close on that, and we'll click OK to close out our Add Virtual Directory. To close out our Add Virtual Directory dialog box. I'm now going to go back to my Internet Explorer on my 01 machine. I'm going to leave the same address as before typed in, and we'll refresh that, and you can see that we get the same page that we had gotten before. But if we go up to our address bar and at the end we add the extension of the Active Directory we made, go ahead and click enter. You can see here that our site changes to the FTP directory of student01 at server01.contoso.com. And I'm going to go ahead and go to my partner machine and we'll test the connectivity there. And I still have my firewall disabled, so it's still let me onto the original page that we made, and I'll go ahead and type on the extension to the address bar, and you can see that it has also allowed me onto the FTP directory of student01 for this site as well. And this concludes the how-to video for Lab 7.